Today I'm attempting to do my first exhaust job. I have my cheap Harbor Freight 100 bucks welder. So right now I'm doing the 2-to-1 pipe. This is a 2-to-1 to the cat. I'm pretty pleased with them right now. This side is really nice. I still got to do this section here. I'm letting the welder cool down right now. But this section is gonna be a bit more tricky because it has about a 16-inch gap right there. So I'm gonna have to fill it up. And then on this side I'm not so pleased, but it gets the job done. I might go back and do another pass on that. But everything I'm doing today is all going to be on this Harbor Freight welder, and we'll see how good I am. For anyone that's wondering what my settings are, right now I'm using minimum. Especially when you're doing exhaust work, you always want to go minimum. If you do max, you're just going to blow through the pipe. And that's what I really don't want to do. And then for my wire speed, I'm doing about 4. I was doing about 4.5, 4, and maybe 3.5, but then I found that 4 is just perfect. And this is pretty much it right here. Please don't judge my weld so much. I really, it's still kind of hot. I was really pleased with this section here. This is like one of my first bead. As I got around, I started doing some bubble gum. This section right here, there was a gap that I showed you guys earlier, about a 16-inch gap. So what I was doing was I was doing dimes, like dime. I wasn't doing like a full pass. I was doing like dime, 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 letting it stack on itself just so that it doesn't blow through the pipe. And when I was doing that, it started working out really fine. And we got some really nice, at least a nice weld on it. So that's pretty good, man. That's decent in my opinion. Does the job. Lots of splatter. I'm not gonna really clean it up. I brushed it, and then I'll probably paint it or something like that, or maybe just let it rust back to its normal color. But we're gonna go ahead and slap that on and then finish the rest of it. So here's the Cadillac bolted up already. I had to use these right here for spacers, just right under the cross member. The other thing that I'm kind of worried about is that the rear O2 sensor might reach, or it's gonna be barely enough wire. So right when I make this pipe right here, I'm gonna have to put the O2 sensor right here, and this is usually the stock position, but I think I should have plenty of wires for that, because luckily on the O2 sensor itself has like about maybe 6-7 inches of length right here. So this right here doesn't move at all. You can see right here it's really nice and sturdy. I'm gonna put new gaskets. The old gaskets are in there, and then these are just some old nuts. So when I have everything done, I'll go ahead and put new nuts and new gaskets. The first O2 sensors right here. So this is a weird angle, but this is the 2-to-1 right here. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use the 3/4 flange, cut it, and then build a new pipe. Here's the mid pipe for the exhaust system. This is from the Cadillac converter, and then needs to connect to the muffler. Excuse my welding skills. I know you guys are gonna give me crap for this, but it is what it is. This is a cheap Harbor Freight. I try to do my best. Lots of bubblegum. So this is the 3/4 mid pipe. I cut it right here because it has a nice angle. It needs to drop down a little bit and then go straight. So that's why I kept it like that. So I hammered this new one. This is a 2 1/4. I hammered the edge so it can slip in here a little bit, so it's about 1/2 inch in there, and then I welded it in. The splatter and lots of bubble gum. And then this is the new O2 sensor mount. You had to I drilled a hole in the center of it and then weld up the O2 sensor. The O2 sensor is the old one. It's the old one from the full runner, so we're just gonna use it. If it gives us any issue in the future, we'll just go ahead and replace it. Easy to do. The next thing we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna connect this to my exhaust. So this thing here doesn't slide into my existing exhaust. It has to just do a butt to butt. So I'm debating if I want to do that or if I want to get a new exhaust. So we'll figure it out. My muffler is still really good. I mean, it's just a old school Flowmaster. It's not rusted out or anything like that. So I'll figure out what I want to do eventually, but then I'm gonna hook this up and then see what else I need to do for the rest of it. Here's the mid pipe installed. It's really nice. It's nice and center. This 90 degree is way too much. This is what I was planning to do. This is one of the setup that John has. 90, and then you can see we're way up here already, and even if we cut it, so I'm gonna go to this auto parts store and see if I can get a 45, 2 1/4 45 that goes right here. And then I'm gonna try to make the exhaust super flush, or not super flush, but at least as high as I can, because in the past they had it pretty low like this. They had it laying this way, and I'm gonna lay it this way, so my exhaust isn't a round one, it's a rectangular one. So let me head to the auto parts and see what I can find. Quick update. So on my previous video, I told you guys that I was thinking about getting John to do my exhaust work for me. But the thing is that John lives about maybe 40 minutes from here, and honestly, I think I just didn't feel like driving the vehicle with the open headers. I just think that it really feels unsafe. So I ended up doing it myself. And, you know, the biggest thing was just my confidence level. I wasn't super confident with it, and especially with my welding skill. You know, I'm pretty good. I'm not super good, but I'm decent at welding. So I decided to tackle myself. So what I did so far today was I wired up the reverse switch, the 4x4 switch. I installed the 2-to-1 to the cat, and then the cat to the mid pipe. And then from there on, I didn't finish installing the muffler because I decided that I'm going to order a new muffler. So I went ahead and ordered a new muffler. And once that gets here, we'll go ahead and get that installed. So from the mid pipe to the muffler, I'm not going to weld that section. I'm just going to make it a clamp just so that it makes it easier to take off. But once we get it here, I'll make another update follow video on that. So we're going to do a first start or another. We're going to do another start with the we're going to do a first start with the cat. And then after this, I'm going to head up to the auto parts store and go return some pipe that I didn't need. I was chasing some coolant, so my when I was under there, it was leaking coolant from the bell housing, and looks like one of the heater hoses wasn't fully tight, so I went and tightened that up. Hopefully it doesn't leak anymore, and fingers crossed. Let's do this. Oh man, so much quieter. So much quieter. Yeah, this is way more better. I really wanted to get my exhaust done because I was getting pretty annoyed with it, and I also didn't want to start getting my neighbors annoyed with it because I keep doing these startups. So luckily that's done. It's still loud, but not as loud as before. So let's go and get to the engine bay and see what's going on here. I just checked my exhaust work. I touched my hands around I put my hands around the wheels, the gasket. There's no exhaust leak, so that's good. That means all the wheels are good right now. And then looks like the leak isn't coming anymore, but it looks like I still have a leak at the thermostat housing. So I took the thermostat back off and back and forth. I did put a new seal on it, on the thermostat, but it's still leaking for some reason, just a little bit. So I might go ahead and remove that and put the, I might go ahead and remove it and then install the Toyota OEM thermostat, because I think the aftermarket one, it's slightly smaller in diameter, just like a little bit. And I'm not sure if that's causing the leak or anything. Right at the water neck right there, right below it. And it's tight too, I tightened everything. So the engine sounds so much better. I'm gonna let it warm up and see if it needs to be bleed again or anything like that, burp it. Man, this is awesome, man. You can see right here on the hood, it's starting to rub. So even though you cut this off, you don't have to cut this one over here. I cut this one by accident. You just need to cut this Y here. But you can see that it's starting to rub right here, the paint, from somewhere right here or somewhere on the intake. So I might go get some like a high temp heat foam and put it right here so that it has some cushion. And then you can quickly check the 4x4, make sure the 4x4 is working. So you can see right here, high 4, light comes on, back to 2-wheel drive, light comes off. I can't check my reverse light right now because I don't have anybody to look at it, but I'm pretty sure the reverse lights work. And also a quick tip, there's 4 switches, or there's 3 switches. So your first switch under the tranny, your first switch is a big round one, that's your reverse. And then you have one that's very tiny, like the size of my finger right here. It's like a rectangular shape. That one's the 4x4. So you have reverse, 4x4, and then the one that's on your T case, that's the speed sensor, or the speed sensor plug that comes from the ECU, and that's built in the toy only swap. And then you have front O2, rear O2. So really easy. Nothing too crazy. So we can see right now the temperature is nice and good. So temperature is good, and we're idling at around 1,000. And when I was giving it gas, oh, when I give it gas, it's so much more smoother than before. And I think the reason is because we have a cat now, and also our O2 sensor hooked up. Because before we were just running open header, I didn't have the O2 sensor set up, and it was like really it was really really burpy or really laggy. But now, man, it is so smooth. It sounds good too, man. Let's go for a quick test drive. Here's our first test run. It sounds good. I don't want the noise though. I'm not an exhaust guy, so I don't really like the noise. I like it to be nice and quiet. Man, it feels so smooth, dude. The throttle response is so on point. Woo! For some reason, I also feel like my front of the engine, I feel like the front has got lifted. I was researching, and the 3.4 motor is actually like 500 pounds, and the 3.0 is like 440 or 450. So 3.4 is much more heavier, but for some reason, while doing this swap here, I feel like my front has raised like an inch or so. I also still have to do one more thing. I have to fill up my refrigerator for my AC, my Freon. So I gotta fill up my Freon, and I'll do that later because it is summer now, so it is nice to have AC. I haven't hooked up my cruise control. I just unplugged the cruise control, and I think once I have everything settled down, I'll figure out if I want to have cruise control or not. Woo! This is way better than the 3.0, man. Throttle response is like so much good. Oh, I gotta be careful. I got a brand new clutch. I can't burn my clutch out. You're supposed to break in your clutch like 400 or 500 miles, just going city driving, like up and or stop and go traffic. Can't do nothing too crazy. So I'm keeping my eyes on the temperature, the oil pressure, and everything. Damn, this is so good. I wonder what you get on the highway. Let's get on the highway, man. I feel like the truck is still kind of not smooth yet because it has to relearn the ECU. It has to relearn the mapping and stuff. And also, we do have to finish that muffler. It's loud though. It's nice and loud. A little nice rumble. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. Third gear. Third gear, 35 miles and about 2,500 RPM. Oh man, this thing is so smooth. Hopefully we don't break down. Hopefully we don't break down on this quick test run. Yeah, this thing is solid. The heat is nice and hot, but temperature is still good, so no overheating. Temperature is good now. We're still in fourth gear. Whoa, fourth gear, we're doing 65 already. Holy smoke. We're in fifth gear doing 65, just shy 2,900 RPM. Dude, this is amazing, man. So the biggest difference is throttle response, and it just goes from the get-go. So if you guys all have the 3.0, you guys know it's very sluggish. It doesn't have the best throttle response. It just feels good. It feels very modern. The throttle is very smooth. It's all like in one smooth transition. Man, feels good. I want to pull over and check for leaks and stuff like that. I know we still have that one leak we talked about. Man, this feels good, dude. We're idling about 1,000 RPM. 3.4, you can't adjust the idle. It's not like 3.0. It's a newer engine, so the ECU, the MAF, it does all the idling for you. I love that my gauge is working, my oil gauge. I love that fact that my oil gauge is working. It was so annoying not having the oil gauge because I like to just make sure my oil pressure is good. Oil pressure, not oil gauge. Honestly, it sounds good without the muffler, but if you're that type of person, you can just have it the way it is right now. But I'm going for a quiet truck. I don't want something loud. Man, it feels good, guys. I drove about 15 miles around town already, and man, so far this truck is just so amazing. Great throttle response, no lagging, just straight up power right from the get-go. I still have a few things to do. Like I said, I ordered the muffler, so it's gonna be here next week, and I'll go ahead and get that completed. And ever since way before I did the swap, my windshield fluid bottle, right where the wiper motor goes into the bottle, there's always been a slow leak, so I've been losing a lot of windshield fluid water and stuff like that. So I might take that out and see what's going on. Maybe it's just a bad ground mitt, and probably get that fixed. But other than that, everything is really good. The engine is exactly the way I want it already. This air box is still loose. I'm just gonna let it hang loose for the meanwhile until I figure out what I want to do. If you guys have done a 3/4 swap and you guys found a way how to mount this, let me know. I know some people, they drill into the bottom of the box and then it's held down by screw, and I'm trying to avoid any kind of drilling like that. So I might try to find some kind of bracket holder or some kind of thing to hold it in place without drilling the box. And then I also saved the piece from the 3/4 where it goes into the inner fender, and I might be doing that because, like I said, in the long run I do want to go and do a snorkel setup. And what else is there to talk about today? Not that much, really. Like I said, you guys remember on my 3/4 when I press the gas, it idles high for a bit. Well, in this case it doesn't do it anymore, so that's really nice. The evac box, I'm just gonna keep it the way it is right here. I'm gonna try to do maybe 500 miles and then maybe do a little bit more research and see if I need to see what's gonna happen if I take this off. And also I want to drive 500 miles first to get the oil change up, break in the engine clutch, and also after 500 miles we'll see if there's any check engine lights on. I know before I did the Cadillac converter, there was a check engine light, and I'm pretty sure that was because of the O2 sensor. So early this morning when I was done with the Cadillac converter, I unplugged my battery so that the ECU can restart. And like I said, we're gonna drive it for a few hundred miles and see if there's any CEL. For the most part, that's pretty much it. The coolant leak from the back, it did get fixed. I tightened up the heater hose, and then looks like the leak from the leak at the thermostat looks like it's not leaking anymore, but I'll keep my eyes on it for a few more days and see what's going on. But other than that, man, it looks pretty good. And you can see right here, that's the windshield bottle leak right here, so I'm not too worried about it. It's just windshield fluid. When I was doing this swap, I had to transfer all my accessory lights to over here. So the relay harness for the LED headlights, I just transfer over here, which is easy. The harness for the LED, I have to transfer over here. But then for some reason, I didn't unplug anything at all, but for some reason now my LED is not working, so I'm not sure if my relay went bad. This right here is the LED relay right here. So I'm not sure if my LED relay went bad or where the switch went bad. My fuse is good, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna troubleshoot that, and then if something's messed up, I'll just go ahead and order a new LED relay harness. They're like only 15 bucks on Amazon, so no big deal. And like I said, it's nice and bright now. It's summer in Alaska, so I don't really have a use for the LED light bar for now until it's wintertime, so I'll tackle that later on. And everything looks good. Coolant is topped off, or it's halfway filled, so there's plenty of coolant in the radiator. It's been cooling fine. And man, I just really love it, man. It's been such a long journey. If you guys been following the vlog, I just want to say thank you guys so much, and thank you to everyone who has helped me on this project. And big shout out to everyone who helped me and also helped support the project. Really awesome. Like I said, 2 months of just getting parts, rebuilding it, and just getting everything back together. You know, hours and hours of researching, hours and hours of watching videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Since we're getting closer to finishing, well, we are pretty much finished, just some last minute stuff, but I do want to make some videos in the future where I talk about the full process of the 3/4 swap in one video. Maybe do like a 45-minute video or a 30-minute video where I talk about everything from beginning to ending, what you need to buy, what you need to do, mistakes to avoid and stuff like that. So I plan to make a video like that. So if you guys are interested in that video, let me know what you guys have, what questions you might have, And then also let me know if you guys have any particular questions you guys are wondering about this 3/4 swap, because I do want to make a full video so you guys can watch everything and basically kind of summarize the whole vlog, because I've been doing the vlogs in segments about each particular parts and each particular things, but I want to make a full video where you guys can just sit down and watch the full video, take notes, and just use that video as a guide for yourself if you're doing the swap and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing that, and that I'll be making I'm gonna write everything down. I'm gonna write part number down, and I'll make sure it's a very good video so you guys can do a full it's gonna be like a full guide to a 3/4 swap, besides all the stuff that I didn't do, like the wire harness and crossover and stuff like that. But definitely be on the lookout for that video. Pretty excited, man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Much love. Talk to you guys then.